is biomass energy? Biomass energy, or can call as bioenergy, is a type of renewable energy generated from living organisms, which are plants and animal based. Through photosynthesis, light energy from the sun is converted to chemical energy, which is stored in plants. Animals eat plants and store the chemical energy. There are three forms of bioenergy available with today's technology, which are heat, fuel, and electricity. Biomass is available almost everywhere in the world. Biomass is divided into primary and secondary sources. Primary biomass energy sources are plant materials grown for energy production such as wood, crops, fruits, maize, sugarcane, and sunflower seeds, which get converted to sunflower oil. Secondary biomass energy sources are waste materials which can be used for energy production, such as plant residue, paper mill sludge, sewage, fish, and animal waste.
Okay, for the advantages of biomass energy. First of all, biomass is always and widely available as a renewable source of energy. The organic material used to produce biomass are infinite, since our society constantly produces waste such as garbage and woods. Second, it is carbon natural. As a natural part of photosynthesis, biomass fuel only release the same amount of carbon into the atmosphere as was absorbed by plant in the course of their life cycle. Third, it reduces the over-reliance of fossil fuels. Not only is there a limited supply of fossil fuels, but fossil fuels come with environmental baggage, including the release of large amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and the pollutants that result from removal, transportation, and production. Fourth, it's less expensive than fossil fuels. While fossil fuels production requires a heavy outlay of capital, such as oil drills, gas pipelines, and fuel collection, biomass technology is much cheaper. Manufacturers and producers are able to generate higher profits from a lower output. Next, biomass production as a revenue source for manufacturers. Producers of waste can add value by channeling their garbage to create a more profitable use in the form of biomass energy. Last but not least is less garbage in landfills. By burning solid waste, the amount of garbage dumped in landfill is reduced by 60 to 90% and reduces the cost of landfill disposal and amount of land required for landfill. Next, types of biomass power generation. There are two types of biomass power generation. That is, the first one is combustion, and second one is anaerobic digestion. For detailed explanation, Arman will explain it next.
So let's continue with biomass combustion. What is biomass combustion? So biomass combustion is a direct combustion of biomass in the presence of oxygen or air. It can produce heat and electricity. With a complete combustion of gas into gas, which is known as incineration. From the biomass combustion, the heat energy or the steam that produced can be used for various applications such as space heating and power generation. So there are 11 key components for biomass electric generation system, which are storage, grinder, combustion or furnace, boiler, condenser, steam turbine, generator, cyclone, cooling tower, pumps, and exhaust or emission controls.
As for this part of video, we will explain about the operation of biomass combustion. As we know, a biomass power plant generates electricity using the heat generated by the combustion of organic materials, such as plant residues, household waste, and the biogas resulting from waste fermentation. All of these are renewable energy sources available in large quantities. The fuel is brought to the boiler. It is then introduced into the combustion chamber, where it releases heat as it burns. This in turn heats water in tubes that line the boiler. The hot water is then sent to a tank where it is turned into steam. The steam drives a turbine which turns a generator. In the generator, the interaction between the electromagnets of the moving rotor and the copper coils on the stationary stator produces an electric current. A transformer is used to increase the voltage of this current to 225,000 or 400,000 volts. This makes it easier to transport in the network's very high voltage lines. The steam from the turbine passes through a condenser in which cold water circulates. This cools the system, turning it back into water. It is then sent back to the boiler. This steam can also be used either for industrial activities or to supply an urban heating network. This simultaneous production of electricity and heat in a single facility is called combined heat and power. Finally, the fumes released by combustion are filtered before being evacuated through stacks, often installed in very close proximity to material production or storage sites. Biomass power plants can be used continuously to meet electricity needs that produce regular energy with low carbon dioxide emissions.
So the second type of biomass power generation method is the anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion is the process where microorganisms breaks down organic matter in the absence of oxygen. And the anaerobic digestion will take place in a sealed environment, and this process will produce biogas such as methane, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen from organic waste. And the biogas which is produced from this process can be used for combustion, which will produce heat, fuel, and also electricity, which can be transferred to the national grid network. So as you can see, this is the basic construction of the anaerobic digestion method. One of the key components in this process is the anaerobic digester. So what is anaerobic digester? Anaerobic digester is a place where anaerobic digestion takes place, and an anaerobic digester is a sealed metal and also oxygen free tank. And in this anaerobic digester, multiple organic materials such as food waste, energy crops, crop residue, and also even greases can be combined together. And besides that, in this anaerobic digester, a biochemical reaction known as hydrolysis process will take place. And this is the one of the sample picture of an anaerobic digester. So how does the anaerobic digestion process works? So firstly, food waste or residue will arrive in the anaerobic digestion facility, and after that, food waste will be transferred to a largely sealed oxygen-free digester tank. And after that, the third process is the biogas creation. This is the process where the anaerobic digestion process will take place. And in this process, food waste will be broken down by microorganisms through a process which is known as hydrolysis process. And this process will produce digestate and also biogas, which consists of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and also oxygen. And the digestate produced can be sent to farmland, which can be used as organic fertilizer, while for the biogas produced, the biogas can be sent to the fuel combustion engine, which will be used to drive an alternator, and the alternator will generate electricity, which can be sent to the national grid network.
So let's continue with the biomass combustion side. The Europe supported bioefficiency project was set up to optimize the production of bioenergy from biomass-fired CHP plants, resulting in a design for the next generation biomass CHP plant, which the project's industrial partners plan to commercialize. Based on the photo in the slide, many of these can be found around Europe, especially in Scandinavia, Sweden. And also anaerobic digestion site, which for example, they are at the anaerobic digestion plant at Bursum, Leicester in England.